Make.com has officially decided to remove their X, formerly Twitter connection from their platform, which means we're no longer able to post to Twitter from Make. So if you're looking for a solution to post to Twitter from Make, this video is exactly for you. And yes, this works for any automation platform, whether it is NRN or Pabbly or any platform. Also, I'm going to give away all the resources that you might need to get this working, so make sure to watch till the end. Alright, so first you gotta get an account on GitHub. You can see I've created a test account here. So GitHub is basically, if you're not aware of what it is, a platform meant for developers, software developers. So just create an account on this. It would take hardly less than a minute. And once you create an account, you could just follow the URL that I'm going to give you. So you could just use this exact link over here, and you just got to go to this link and you got to say fork. Okay, and you can just fork this specific yeah, we got it. So once you fork it, you would get this added into your GitHub account. All right, so you can see when I go to the repositories, you can see that now it is just forked, and it shows that it was forked from this specific account here. So basically you're just transferring it from my GitHub account to yours. So now you got this ready over here, and the next thing that you got to do is create an account on Railway. So this is Railway, basically a platform used for hosting. So here's where my NRN instance is hosted. So I've also deployed the Twitter project over here. So what this does is we'd be deploying the project inside this, and we'd be making an API call to this from our make.com or NRN. All right, so in order to deploy inside this one, so what you got to do is first create an account. Just create it would ask you if you want to do it from email or GitHub. So just make sure to log and create an account on Railway while signing up using your GitHub account. All right, so once you do that, you just got to click on new. And in terms of subscription, so they would have like a free plan, I mean like with a $5 credit, but I'd really recommend you to get a $5 plan, which is just very cheap, right? So yeah, so I've got my NRN and Twitter running, and I only pay $5. So you could do that, but if the free plan works for you, you can do that, but it might have some issues with deployment. Okay, so now you can see deployed from GitHub repo. Right, so you just got to click on this one. So basically the project is going to be Twitter Media API. Right, this is the one that deploying from my account. Once I click on this one, it would just start getting deployed. This is all basically you just got to do. So you just got to wait a while for this to get deployed. So you just got to say deploy the repo service. So I'm going to say abort this one. The reason was I clicked on a button called deploy. So basically I made it deploy once. So once you click on that GitHub, it would just start getting deployed by itself. So I just clicked on a button by mistake, and it just started getting deploying twice. But it's very simple. You just got to click on that, and it would start getting deployed, and you'd get deployment successful. Right, so once you do that, you just got to use the specific link over here. So just try to open this in a new tab. So I'm opening in a new tab, and you can see that it shows error over here. So what you got to do here is you got to say /API/tweet. So now you just got to copy this one. You just got to add this extra /API/tweet. All right, so you just got to add this one, copy this link, and you got to go to make.com over here, and I'll be explaining these. So firstly, you just got to create a HTTP request and paste in the link that we just copied. Yeah, so we just pasted this link, and then what you got to do is create like a post request. So because you can see here, it clearly says you cannot use get request, right? So you just got to say post request, and I'll be giving away this template. So you just need to replace some parameters that are over here. Yeah, so basically you can see you just got to add like a multi-form. So let's say save, so make a request, and you just got to go to body type and say multi-part form data, and the fields first would be a file, and then would be the text, and then would be the values for authentication. So that is exactly what we've done over here, multi-part form data. And for file, we say media. You just got to say it exactly like this, media, and we just got to put in a buffer data, which means that we got to use some module right before that downloads the file for you, whether it is media, whether it is video or photo or image. You just got to make sure it is downloaded and the buffer data is mapped inside this. And after that, we have the text. So text means basically the captions or the tweet. So this is a testing post, meaning that this is going to be the tweet basically. And yeah, so for this one, media and text, they should be exactly the same. The only thing that you got to change would be this one, and then you just got to keep this exactly the same app key, and this one you got to change this one. So how you got to change this one is you just need to go to Twitter's developer portal. So this is my account. Okay, you just got to go to Twitter's developer portal. And you can see you just got to log in your account into this. And anyhow, if your account is already created in make.com, would have already had this set up. If you're doing it for the first time, it would just ask you to set up the account, ask you for some information, and you should be into this. And then and the projects and apps, you could see I've got my app over here called Sanjit Tweetbot, and I just got to come to keys and tokens. So over here, app key and secret. So this is going to basically be the app key, which is right over here. Okay, so once you click that, you'd get the app key and app secret. So app key and secret, you'd get that once I say regenerate. So you just got to put the app key here and the app secret over here. And then for access token and access token secret, it is right here. So once you say regenerate for this one, access token and secret, so first you'd get the access token and second you'd get the secret. So you just got to put the access token inside this and the access secret into this. All right, so once you did that, once you put that into this one, so it should be all good. All right, so now let us do a test basically. Let's say save. So I'm not sure what file is over here. We'll have a look at that. I've got this short form clip over here, so I'll say share, copy link, and go back here. I'll paste it inside this one and just put the ID of that. Right, and now what should happen is once I say download the file, and I'll say this is test post for YouTube. So I'll say run once. So now the file should get downloaded and sent to the API. Yeah, you can see tweet posted. So now let me go back to my Twitter account, which is right here. Refresh. You see the tweet is posted.
I think this is something that's like...
Sorry. Yeah, you can see that this is a testing post for YouTube. This is I guess this is a Hormones video, and it just got posted. So I'll say delete this one. I'll go back here. Yeah, so it's confirmed. So it's sure that it is working. So now we could try it with an image basically. So I'll say copy write free images. I'll say copy image address. So I'll copy this image, go over here. So since it is a direct link, like we cannot download it from this unless it is present inside a Google Drive, right? So right now I'm gonna add a module, and I'll say get a file. So get a file basically downloads that file. So I'll unlink this, go over here, and you can see here we've got the buffer data. So now when I say, now I just mapped the HTTP, this one over here, and I'll say run once, and the tweet is again posted. So let me go back here, refresh. You can see it is working. So this is basically it. So you don't have to write a single line of code. So although this project is created using custom code, like you don't have to do any of that because everything is already set up and given to you. You just gotta fork or clone the GitHub repository to your account and then host it in your Railway account, and then just copy that specific endpoint and put it inside this one. Then go to Twitter and get the app key, app secret, app token, all these, and put it inside this one, just like how I've explained. And after that we'll be good. So we just got to make sure that you don't change any of these, because these are the parameters that has been used to create the code. So if you try to change this, it wouldn't match with the one that is already mentioned in the code, and it wouldn't work. So if you're a software developer and know all of these, then yeah, you can change here, go change it in the code, and it would be all good. So this is one. And the other thing that I want to say is, so whatever videos you're trying to upload, just make sure that they follow this specific video codec settings. All right, so you could see minimum video bitrate this much. So, or else chances are there that the video that you're uploading could fail. All right, and also just make sure that your video duration, you could see it must be between 0.5 seconds to 140 seconds. So just make sure that it does not exceed this duration when uploading via the API. All right. Yeah. So you could also host this on Render. So if you want to host this on Render, you just need to go to render.com. And you could also host it over here. So this is my Render account where I've already hosted this one. I'll say add new, say web services, and again you could use GitHub to, oh yeah, so you could just directly use public GitHub repository, right? So you could just paste the link that I give inside this one, public GitHub repository, and say connect. And now you can just leave everything, and when it comes to this one, the region, you can just select the one that is nearest to you. Alright, so you just select the one that is nearest to you, and here you could say free, and yeah, you just got to select this, and please make a note of this. So the deployment is not used on a regular basis, the project would just go away. So it is always better and advisable to get the basic plan. So you could just use this only if you're already using Render for some services before. Let's say you're using it for NRN or any other services, you could use this, or else you could just go with Railway and follow the steps that I just said. So you could create an account on this, maybe if you prefer this, but just make sure you get the starter plan. The free plan could work for now, but it could create some serious issues if it says free instances spin down after periods of inactivity. So let's say not using it for a couple of days, it would just go away, then it wouldn't work. So that deployment would just go away, disappear, right? And then you just got to scroll down, you could leave all these empty, and you could just say deploy web services. So now we're just exactly doing the exact same thing that we did on Railway over here. So again, it would take a few seconds to get deployed over here. So let us wait for this to get deployed. Alright, so it has been deployed. It says your service is live. So now you just gotta copy this link you see over here. Let's copy this one, and let me go back to make.com. Alright, so now you can see that. Let me clone this. Oh sorry, it's okay, let me rename, and I'll say this as Railway. I'll clone this, remove the Railway for now, and I'll say this one is Render. And now I just gotta paste in the link that I got from Render, and you just gotta put this, which we exactly did on Railway as well, which is API/tweet. You just gotta put that. So let me explain why we're doing that. Because when we go back to GitHub and open this one, and you can see that there's a folder called API here. Alright, so the main code that we're running is inside a folder called API, and inside this API there's a file called tweet.js. So I'll click on this one. So you can see here, you can see the path over here. It's Twitter Media API, and then we've got which is the name, and then we've got API/tweet.js. So we just got to mention this API/tweet in order for that to call this specific code. Okay, as simple as that. So going back, so I've put in the Render link over here that we just hosted. I mean that we just created the hosting, and now I just got to say it's going to be the same image that we just posted before. Did I delete that? Let me go back to my Twitter. Oh, it's not yet deleted. Okay, let that stay. So now what I'm going to do is go back here, and I'll say this is a test post for YouTube Render. And now I'll say from once. So I got message as tweet posted. I'll go back to my Twitter, refresh, and you can see this is the test post for YouTube's Render. So it is exactly the same. I've showed you how you can host it on Railway, also on Render. So you could just do which you would prefer. I'd really prefer Railway because I've been using that for a while, but it's completely up to you. Both are great platforms. Railway could be a bit cheaper, but yeah. So I'll also recommend whatever platform you use, don't use the free trial, because if you're not using it regularly, or even if you use it regularly, it might create some sort of issues. I'm just telling with my experience. So that's the reason I prefer to get the basic plan, which is very cheap. $5 or $7, $5 for Railway and $7 for Render. So this is it. So you just got to make sure you download the file. Let's say you're uploading an image, your file is in Drive. You just got to make sure you download the file and map it inside this. Or let's say if it is inside Dropbox, you just got to download and map it inside. Or let's say if it is a publicly available link, just like this image, whether it's video or image, you could just use the GitHub file, which basically downloads that within make.com, and then you could just map it inside this one, right? And then it would just get posted. That's it. So please feel free to let me know if you've got any doubts in the comments. Thank you so much for taking your time and checking this video. So all the resources would be available down in the description, so you could just get them and get this working for you. So thank you so much. See you in the next one. Thank you.